Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Metroid Prime for the Nintendo GameCube. It's Prime time, and yeah, even after a 45-minute video, I've still got a lot of energy. That's what happens when you make up with a lot of lost sleep with over 10 hours of sleep. Holy crap. That's probably why I decided, hey, let's record some Metroid Prime, even though I haven't done it in like several months now? I don't know. So, yeah, let's get to that, shall we? So, I did mention that in the last video, towards the end of the part, rather, that I did want to go back and check out the area again real quick to make sure what I can and can't open with my newly acquired Ice Beam and see where to go from there. And maybe it was this room that had, like, no, it can't be. Okay, so yeah, we have the Ice Beam, and we can go into here. I don't think that's going to really serve us much purpose, though, so... Okay, so that's just a passageway. I think the other door is another passageway as well. The one thing I did want to check out, however, is that one area above the Chozo statue. Those things specifically, because depending on what beam you use for those specific tiles, you can actually open up new routes for the Chozo statue to take you in, and they can lead to all sorts of goodies and shit. But I need these Chozo ghosts out of my sight first before I do so, and that's one thing that's kind of really annoying about this part of the game too, is that after this point, like, instead of like a regular onslaught of enemies, a lot of rooms are filled with nothing more than Chozo ghosts, and these guys are going to continue pestering you throughout Chozo ruins, and yeah, as you can tell, they're a big pain in the ass. Get out of my sight. At least the room's smaller this time, so I don't have to worry about going too far to find them. Ugh. Hold on just a second. Gotta bring up something. Okay. I had to make sure my sound window was open to make sure I was still recording sound audio properly, because if I didn't, that would suck. Good. Come on, please. Come on, please. Don't get him in front of my face like that, buddy. Alright, well, he's dead. You dead yet? Yeah, sure, they don't always lock up the doors, but it's like, it's hard to get anything going with them constantly firing balls of bullshit at you. So, yeah, I just had to have them out of my way. Holy crap. He just was not doing me any favors. So yeah, we're going to need to come back here once we get the last beam in the game so we can open that up. But for now, we're going to go ahead and see where the ice beam route takes us. I love how this puzzle is right before the room where you get the ice beam too. So it just, I don't know, the impact of like coming back here with a new beam to see where it takes you just doesn't quite feel as there as it should. Because it's like, oh, I already have the wave beam, and then I get the ice beam within like 5 minutes of leaving this room. Oh boy. And that's gonna take us to an energy tank. Nice. Something nice and optional. Let's go. So yeah, not gonna lie, I'm not sure which elevator to take. So I'll just try both of them and see where it gets us. And along the way, I'm going to try and show off just how awesome the Ice Beam is in combat. Because man, oh man, it's definitely, like, my favorite beam in the game. Like, it has the slowest rate of fire, but man, this thing hits like a truck. And if you can get a charge hit on somebody and then follow it up with a missile, it leads to some pretty devastating results. Alright, so alright, let's take this route first. Yeah, definitely my favorite beam in the game. And it just looks cool too. Like, one thing I didn't like about the Wii version of Prime is, like, I mean, it's a minor aesthetical thing, sure, but like whenever you switch beams, like you can kind of see how, like, the impact of, like, the nature of the beam emanates from your arm cannon. Like with the ice beam, for example, you see chills and cold air coming from it, and then you switch to the power beam, and like when you charge it, for example, you see like all this electrical energy coming out of your beam as it's about to pack some kind of a powerful electrifying punch. But then, like, for some reason, like in the trilogy version, like, yeah, you see the beam, your arm cannon freeze up as you're charging the ice beam. Like, it doesn't do that for some reason. I don't know why. It's such a weird random change, and I don't quite get it, because I think in Prime 3, like, whenever you charge the beams you get in that game, like, because it had motion controls and stuff, and you could more freely move around your arm cannon, like, it still showed the effects of, like, what happened, like, whenever you were charging a beam and what kind of impact it had on your arm cannon. Unless I'm totally wrong, because I haven't played Prime 3 in, like, 2 years, I think. So my memory is probably off by just a smidge. But like, I don't know why they would remove something like that. It's so weird and random, and it doesn't make any sense at all. I thought I scanned. I thought I scanned these guys already. Oh, there's a random missile expansion just sitting in here. That's kind of odd. Well, even if this route doesn't lead anywhere, at least I came here for a missile expansion, and that's what matters most, isn't it? So... Oh, okay. Well, I know for a fact this is where we need to be next. But for now, I'm gonna turn around real quick and take the other elevator and see if I can get anything worthwhile out of that trip. Or you know what? Nah, because we're gonna be coming back that way anyway. Yeah, let's just continue moving forward. I'm not even gonna worry about the tangleweed damage, honestly. But yeah, that looks awfully familiar. Flying pirate. Flying pirate. Meet Ice Beam, bitch! I love the Ice Beam, man. That is just absolutely ridiculous, and I fucking love that. Oh my god. That's just... Ah, it's so satisfying! Hey, what's up? Oh. So yeah, critically injured space pirates that don't have visible lore book entries upon scanning them. Where do I recognize this from? Maybe if I took a brief look at the structure this is... Ooh. Oh. Ah. Well, no time like the present. Let's jump right in. Excuse me? Oh, what? Oh, shoot. Right. Crap. That's right. Yeah, we need the... Shoot, we need the gravity suit before we jump in here. Otherwise, it's going to be a big, major pain in the ass to go through there. And I don't think we'd be able to make it far without it anyway. But yeah, let's definitely take this area into consideration for later. That's for certain. So, I wonder what they're checking out over there. I know there's a missile expansion in one of these walls here. I just don't remember where it's at. Not that it matters, because we're going to need the gravity suit before moving forward. And speaking of gravity suit, I think that's actually the thing we're picking up next. So yeah, it definitely seems clear to me that this happens to be part of Frigate Orpheon. Yeah, the very same ship that we saw and traveled through at the very start of the game. And it looks like to me that they were picking up whatever phazon they had left over from the crash. Yeah. Like, they're gonna scavenge every last bit of whatever phazon they have left to meet their evil desires, that's for certain. So... yeah. So the other elevator, for those curious, led to another part of Talon Overworld, except the difference there is that that spot is more of a dead end. I was just curious to see if whether or not I was going to be able to pick up a missile expansion while I was there, but I guess that kind of doesn't really matter, honestly, because you go back through that area at some point anyway, and you kind of create a shortcut there as you do so as well, so I'm not too terribly concerned about it, honestly. I just feel like we'd be burning unnecessary time, provided we do so. So, that basically means that, yeah, I think where we need to head next is actually back to Vendrana. Man, and people say Prime 2 had so much backtracking, and yet here I am, not traveling through a hub area that connects all of these worlds together to where, you know, maybe provided I had the right equipment and upgrades, I can open up some shortcuts and go to those other areas without having to go through other areas to go back to another area where that needs the next upgrade I need, and then I gotta go all the way back, and I'm like... Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, this is why I think anybody who criticizes Prime 2 for backtracking, they're just a bunch of fucking hypocrites. They are. Like, I don't feel... Like, I gotta go all the way back through Choza Ruins, and I gotta go through fucking Mangmore. Or actually, hold up. Technically, I could actually go back, because I gotta, like, get my bearings, but I gotta go back through here, and there's an elevator through Talon that I can use to go back to Magmore, and I gotta go back to Magmore, and then I gotta go back to Vendrana, and it's like, I can't just have one area that connects all of these other areas, even though I've been through these routes already. It's like, ugh. Yeah, like, even, like, yeah, I'm taking a shorter route, sure, but the same principle still applies. I can't just have one area that connects all of these. Like, I love Prime. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking against Prime. I still love Prime. It is easily, like, in my top 5 of favorite Metroid games. Like, don't stretch me don't read me wrong here, folks. Like, I still love Metroid Prime. I've been doing mostly nothing but praise for this playthrough, but man, if there are faults, I am going to acknowledge them, and I'm going to make sure I rub it in your faces to prove that, like, sometimes your best video game ever isn't going to be perfect. And I'm going to do that for Prime too, don't you worry. Like, I still think there are definitely things that people overlook even in that game that aren't perfect. And that's my favorite Metroid game ever, goddammit. So, like, yeah, I know I've already beaten this over like a dead horse, but I just gotta remind you guys sometimes that, like, ugh, stuff ain't perfect, you know? So yeah, I guess I could technically cut out this backtracking, but it's best to kind of know like what the best route is to go through like a specific area and go back to it just to make sure you guys are on the same level and can touch page with me whenever we go back to these specific places and make sure that we're all on the same page as far as getting to these areas are concerned. So we're going to take this elevator actually because it happens to be closer to the destination we're going to in Fendrana. And that'll be awesome. But yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, we're getting the gravity suit next. Because I did mention that there is one area we could go through, but can't quite do so because, well, we don't really have the equipment to do so yet. But it just kind of fell right into our face as for what we need next right there and then, thankfully. So, okay. Oh, well, here we are. This is, okay. Yep, that definitely confirms it. That definitely confirms it. Man, this game really loves sending us back to Fendrana, huh? But luckily, I do think outside of like the endgame collectathon, I believe this is actually the very last time we'll actually be going through Fendrana to get upgrades. Because we've already beaten the major boss of the area. This just happens to be the last major upgrade we'll be getting from Fendrana before we move on and explore other areas too. Because, like, yeah, a lot of the game has mostly had a big focus on, you know, Fendrana and Chozo as far as collecting upgrades is concerned. But, like, there actually is one more area minus the final area in the game that we haven't been to yet, and that's got a whole host of goodies waiting for us there as well. And believe me, once we get there, we'll be spending a big bulk of our time over there, since it is kind of, you know, approaching the end game, and the game kind of realizes that, so they kind of cram pack a lot of your progress into that one isolated area. So, yeah. We're just gonna ignore these guys because they don't really pose much of a threat to us, and if they do start posing a threat to us, well, we can just ice beam them in the face. And we'll just swiftly remind them that, hey, don't mess with Samus when she's got an OP ice cannon. And I'm not even really worried about the damage there because it's so minimal. Oh wow, I don't think I've checked out that, oh wait, yeah I have, it's a fucking, oh my god. Okay, so, yeah, it was just so small I couldn't tell at first. Oh my goodness. So yeah, back to Fendrana we go, and we don't even have to really go that far to check out where we need to go next either. In fact, where we do need to go next is, well, right behind us, actually. So, yeah, we'll just take this route right here. And now that we have the Ice Beam, the route that we could have taken before is now open to us. And as an upgrade we'll need to consider for later. So be sure to remember that. And yeah, this is also another track I really like too. Like, kind of like how, like, Chozo Ruins and, like, Talon Overworld had themes that built up into, like, its other half, or just progressively as you made it further into the game. Fendrana kind of has that too, and this theme is all kinds of catchy. It's got that techno vibe I really like. Because I love listening to classic technical, like, techno 60s and 70s music, and this just kind of hits me right up my alley. There's a way back to the research core if you ever want to go back there for whatever reason outside of collecting Chozo artifacts, but for now we're just going to ignore that place and just check out this last half of Fendrana here. We're at the very edge of Fendrana, folks, so not much left to investigate outside of some Chozo artifacts we're not able to grab at this given time. So we're just going to go right into it. And by right into it, I mean we're just going to head right head first into this water here. These guys here are gel zaps. I thought they were blargs. I must be thinking of Prime 2. It's another example of a creature where you just kind of have to wait it out and blast it in the face. Yeah, it's a lot of wildlife here. Like, even beforehand, I don't think I recall seeing this many fish, like, just kind of going about minding its own business as we were traveling through the depths and the waters of Talon 4. So, okay, so there's a door there we can take. That's kind of helpful. Except, not really, because it's a bit high up there, and we can't really reach that from jumping into water either. So I think I got a bit too overzealous. But yeah, man, the water in this game makes you move so damn slow. Slower than the freaking Game Boy games even. Like, whew. At least in, like, Super Metroid, like, even though it did make you move kind of slowly, it had a bit of momentum to it where if you gained enough speed, you could kind of play around with the water physics and have it, like, kind of drag you into, like, specific areas as you spin jump, and you gained a lot more distance than you think you would. In this game, it just kind of slows you down altogether, and there's just not much you can do about it other than to deal with it. Okay, scanned out already, so... Oh, hey. Did I scan these? Yeah. I thought they would be ice scarabs for some reason. I guess not. Okay, so that friendly little creature there is a glider. He's the only one in the entire game, actually. Unless I'm forget. Oh, wait, no. There's another one in the last area. What am I saying? But yeah, these guys are pretty rare, and basically, if we have the grapple beam, if we did have the grapple beam on hand, we would use these guys to navigate the terrain, but unfortunately, we don't have that on hand right now, so we'll just have to make do with what we got exploring the rest of the area. So yeah, so checking out things from here, we got a stalactite that we can blow up from right there. And another stalactite that we can blow up from right there. I feel like maybe they could have made these a bit more engaging by, like, having the weak points face another way instead of just having you blast them all the way from the entrance, but... Oh well. Oh man, it looks like the Space Pirates had some kind of rain over here as well. Not that you'll be seeing many Space Pirates over here to begin with, because this is kind of just like right outside the reaches of the research lab. So, not much you can really do here. There's an expansion down there, I see it, but we can't do anything about it at the current time. So, yeah, just gonna take this route right here and see where this big long tunnel takes us. And here we are at Phendrana's Edge, the very end of Phendrana. Like, you can, like, the name makes sense because it's like at the polar opposite of, like, the entrance to Phendrana. Fitting name. It really tells us, like, how far we've come in, like, the span of 11 videos? Jesus Christ. If I make it to endgame before part 20, like, I won't necessarily be 100% surprised, to be honest with you. Oh man, I really am making due progress, despite how slow I am with, like, the upload schedule, and I apologize. So, okay, so that's, oh wait, we just came out of that. Duh! So, I think, okay, so we'll need to take one of the lower doors here. Wow, I'm suffering from short-term memory loss here, help. Oh, pfft. Well, that's not how I wanted to slip in there, but that'll work too. What's going on? What is he doing? Oh, can I not hit them with the ice beam? I thought I blasted one with an ice beam earlier. Can I move? Oh my god, please. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're coming to a destination here soon. But not without blasting this jerk out of the way. Gosh. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we were in this room earlier, huh? No, we weren't. Oh, it's a three-way room, too. And I don't mean that kind of three-way. So, okay. That's helpful. Did I crush, like, the glider? No, okay, I was gonna say, that'd be a little bit too coincidental if that happened. That's not what I was trying to scan. Let's jump on here. Okay. What are these things? Can you scan? Oh, I already scanned them. Derp. Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I thought you could just freeze these guys and let hell loose on them. I wonder why that wasn't the case earlier. Unless I was just aiming at them wrong? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I think I already scanned them. Yeah, otherwise, like, they would... Otherwise, like, their scan icons would be a bit more highlighted. That's not where I wanted my jump momentum to take me. I think I was strafing while I was doing that too. Probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. Makes sense. Logical. These things are actually kind of annoying. Whew! Got on there at just the right time too. Okay. Gotta be on guard in case I ever see an ice streak bat. I mean, I probably won't, to be honest, but I gotta stay optimistic. Alright, here we are at the gravity chamber. Lots of crazy stuff lurking about, like these thingamajigs. What are these? Aqua Reapers. Basically, Reapers, except they're aqua. Kind of reminds me of, like, when I see that, it kind of reminds me of, like, Shadows of the Empire. There's this one level where you're going through the sewers, and, like, the boss is basically the Sarlacc pit monster, except it's in the sewers for some reason. I don't know how that works. But yeah, like, you basically had to fend off, like, a bunch of tentacles like this in the water, and you were having to shoot its mouth while staying suspended underwater, shooting it. It was a pretty interesting boss fight, not gonna lie. And I don't know. Fighting these things kind of just gives me, like, memories of that. Kind of hard to see here, too, because, like, it's so misty underwater. Though apparently one extra function that the gravity suit does have in this game that the other games don't is that, like, whenever you grab the suit, and speaking of double, there it is, it also kind of clears up your vision underwater too. So, like, the draw distance, the limited draw distance you normally have to deal with when underwater, you don't have to deal with that obstruction anymore, and we're going to be seeing an immediate difference within a few moments. But yeah, gravity suit. It's been a while since we got a new suit. And honestly, if we're not counting Samus's return, If we're not counting Samus Returns and like how it changed the entire design of the gravity suit to look more bulky than the Varia suit, this is probably my favorite iteration of the gravity suit because it's got like a bluer, like it's got a more bluish kind of purple as opposed to it just being like strictly violet purple. And I don't know, like I feel like that kind of highlight definitely fits Samus well. And well, it's like it's highlighted, but it's not like it's subdued enough to where it's not like too crazy. It's basically like how I would have done the Vario suit in this game, provided it was, done in the kind of like contrast way that like the gravity suit was done. Still stuck with like the awkward proportions though, but I'll do. But yeah, if you couldn't already tell, like, yeah, the vision here is much less obstructed by the mist of the water as opposed to like how it was before. And yeah, we can move pretty freely. So yeah, water is no longer a hindrance to us. Not any longer. So now I just gotta find a way out of here. I do believe it's right there. Nice. So yeah, it looks like we'll need to come back here later. Because, yeah. We're gonna need the last beam in the game before we do that. So, now that we have the gravity suit, we're gonna head back to Frigate Orpheon and see where that takes us. And then, yeah, over here. Yep, wasn't too bad of a detour. These guys can go kindly screw off. In fact, actually, you know what? This is some real weight-busting material right here. Holy crap. And, ooh, we never took this door, huh? Well, not that we could before, but you know. Alright. Alright, I think I know where this takes us, actually. So we're just gonna ignore all of these dudes here. And, yeah, just head back to the door over here. They're just gonna sit, if they're gonna sit there and stall, then I'm just gonna be like, bye. It's like, they're like, approach me, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna approach you. Thank you very much. Oh god. Okay, buddy. Y'all need to get out of here and stop moving so much. This is what happens when you fly into my field of vision. You get hit by things like you shouldn't have. Maybe I'll need to play some more fighting games and learn what footsies is all about, so you know how to stay out of my range. Alright, so that's the Frost Cave. Oh wait, what am I doing heading over here? Okay. So yeah, if we're gonna collect the last of the few expansions here and the Chozo artifacts, we're definitely gonna need to come back here by not falling into the water, but by grabbing the last beam and the grapple beam. That's basically all that's stopping us from getting everything else that's contained within Fringerana. So, without further ado, let's get out of here. I just don't get what's up with, like, you know, Fusion and Prime and their over obsession with being an ice area is like longer than you should be. Like, cause like again, like in Fusion, like I know that there, like that was the only sector in the entire game where, like, you went there 3 times instead of twice if you're not counting, like, going back there for expansions, and, like, that definitely holds true for this region. Definitely holds true for this region. To a definitive degree. Alright, buddy. I'm gonna need to make you go kaboom. And get out of my sight. Man, it's funny how this game doesn't really give you a whole lot of missiles, even in the mid-game, up until, like, the very end, where it just kind of throws them all at you. Okay, that we'll need the grapple beam for, so we're just gonna head back through here, and then probably take a elevator to Chozo Ruins. In fact, actually, you know what? I'm probably, since we're nearing the end of the video anyway, what I'm probably gonna do is that I'm gonna probably go back to Chozo Ruins off screen, because, like, once you see where I end up at, like, it'll make sense, and you definitely don't need to know where I'm going uh, from that point to be sure where you need to go from that point forward. But yeah, backtracking, man, kills me sometimes. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this part of Metroid Prime. I'll see you guys in the next video, where we head over to Frigate Orpheon and see if we can find anything left over from the damage. So see you guys then.